Good evening, action and video fans. Welcome to the full feature video on the 1985 Sears exclusive Cobra SMS, or at least in this case, the hiss that was to be made look like the Cobra SMS. And if you know from the previous video that I did saying about this custom, you know that the Cobra SMS is a highly sought after, I dare I say, even grail piece of the GI Joe, of the entire GI Joe vintage line, and it's definitely sought after. But for those of us that don't have an absolute fortune to spend on such things as adults, life's expensive, with kids and in some cases marriage and all these other awesome life milestones. We aren't always in the position to own every single holy grail piece of GI Joe that ever existed. But fortunately for us, the Cobra SMS in this case was really just a Cobra Hiss recolored in red and a GI Joe MMS system repurposed in black, recolored in black, and put out as a Sears exclusive custom Sears exclusive in 1985. But like I was just saying earlier, what's great is that about this piece or whatever is just that given that it's just it's not really much more than a recolored hiss. I had two hisses kicking around in the vault, and I chose, rather than just complete with the driver and say, all right, that's a completed hiss, I chose to try to recreate the 1985 Cobra SMS because there are far fewer of those. And I just so happened to have the actual Cobra SMS missile system portion of the ensemble. So I was like, well, what do I do with this? I'm not sure if I really want to go out and get like the actual Cobra SMS Sentry front end. Again, it would be, it would obviously increase the overall value of this piece if I did. But I had two hisses complete kicking around, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and try to recreate that look. Anyways, I think in this, in this attempt, I have been successful in doing so. Anyways, without further ado, here it is. Oh, oh, here we go. Oh, 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 look at this. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, 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 ooh. And voila, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The recreation of the 1985 Cobra SMS by the General. As you can see, she turned out absolutely astounding once again. The General did it again. As you can see, this hiss looks absolutely fantastic. And our awesome Cobra Commander and our Crimson Guards to help spice it up and give spice to the imagination of things. Where to begin? All right, well, like I said, we have a later retail release Cobra Hiss front end, and the cannons are working, just as collectors and such love to find on hisses. Our dear Cobra Commander, once again, like I said, he promised us the hiss, and he delivered for sure as well. We got a Crimson Guard driving the hiss. And, oh yes, and over here we have the missile system portion of the SMS. And I'll walk you through some of these things here. Now, this is an actual at Cobra SMS missile system. This isn't a recolored in black from me to look the part. It is actually a SMS missile system portion. The heat-seeking red missiles, I was finding some little bit of difficulty trying to find all three, as separate on eBay and such. So what I did, rather than have to play the good old waiting game on that one, I took three GI Joe green MMS missiles, heat seeker missiles, because they're virtually identical to the SMS ones. and I just recolored them in the same kind of way at which the hiss itself was supposed to be. I believe yes, I did use the same tone of red for the two. As you can see, heat seek and missiles all in check. They turned out absolutely fantastic. I'm just going to take that off there and untether that. Anyways, and as you can see, they turned out pretty good, pretty snazzy. Got the repro decals on those. I had to go this one. I had to go to the Toy Hacks for that, and I went with another guy, not the Toy Hacks, but another guy on eBay that had just again same deal for a little bit of a better deal. The decals for the rest of the Sentry. Now the original Cobra SMS had red letter. I believe it was red letters with a white sort of border around the letters. I did have in the repro decal packages that I got, I had alternate red letter insignia, but I felt that the red was just I mean, as it kind of did, and even in the original was kind of blending in with the rest of the body. So I decided, well, you know what, I'll use white, and hey, if I need to change them to red later or whatever, I got red letters, but just to make things kind of pop and to just sort of look a little bit better, in my opinion. Anyways, and we got, and like I said, we got your Crimson Guards to spur the imagination. We got Buddy there about to fire them missiles. Oh yes, and the stand for the missile system. It's actually I had to use a stand infrared. It's the same stand that was used in the same kind of stand that would have been used in the MMS and the actual SMS. I believe this one had to be obtained from the Action Force, the European version of GI Joe line. I was fortunate enough to find the exact identical kind of stand. The original Joe SMS one, or sorry, MNS one would have been green. So in this, but the Action Force one was kind of like a gray, a little bit closer to black. So I just used that and recolored it. But otherwise, it is done, and I think it turned out awesome. It was an absolute blast to do. What can I say? Unless like planes and bigger craft and things are always fun to do. Excuse me, in their complexities. But we know what was nice about this one was it was a fairly straightforward, just recreation and everything else. It was awesome. Like it was just like it didn't take me that long. It was just everything just pretty well went by the numbers in it. And yeah, so and before we sign off here, I'll just get you a little bit of a whoops. There we go to the Crimson Guard. Some pan around shots of what it all looks like around. As you can see, the paint apps and all that took quite well to this. So I'm quite enthusiastic with how things turned out. And again, it's a piece now that's meant to be respected on your shelf, and right next to your cool and awesome shaped actual Cobra hiss and so forth. So here it is, full feature video, Cobra SMS Custom. Let me know if you want one of these customs and what it would take maybe to get you a custom. This will be later listed on the group page, so take a look for that. And yeah, so we're on to the next Cobra Joe custom. I believe the next one up on the list of things to do, I believe, is the Sky Striker. I'm doing a custom Sky Striker because we just got so many Sky Strikers to do. So I'm going to do something kind of cool for it. And there we have it, folks. Cobra SMS. Recreated to make it look like the part. That doesn't cost everybody an absolute fortune to be able to own. General out.